Hey, welcome back. Well, Amazon must now pay out $2.5 billion. This after settling a deceptive practices lawsuit with the Federal Trade Commission. So the FTC says the retail giant misled its users into paying for Prime memberships, then making it hard for them to cancel. So now Amazon will pay $1.5 billion to 35 million customers and another $1 billion to the FTC. Joining us now, federal defense attorney Ronald Chapman to help us break this all down. Ronald, good morning. Amazon, to note, not admitting any wrongdoing here. This settlement comes just 3 days into the trial. What's your take on why Amazon settled so quickly?
I rarely get to talk about a settlement that I might benefit from, but I think I might be in one of those 35 million
Yeah.
customers. A settlement in the middle of a trial isn't the craziest thing. It happens all the time, especially as the evidence starts to come in, the sides are negotiating. But the reality is, despite the staggering number that we have here, 2.5 billion, Amazon is going to make that in a few days, which isn't really going to put a dent in Amazon. Despite that fact, we have a lot of customers, and the internet tests that were part of this case showed were tricked into purchasing Amazon. But it's even more problematic because they couldn't get out of Amazon Prime once they'd actually purchased it, which obviously impacted a lot of customers who might have been struggling to make ends meet at the time. So settlements will be automatically paid out here, thankfully. This isn't like a class action where you need to make an individual claim and deal with a lawyer.
Well, that is an important distinction, and there will be quite a number of people, you can imagine, who are going to be benefiting from this. So the money, $2.5 billion, it's not a lot if you do the math, the 35 million customers. What are we talking about, like $50 each? Is this a fair settlement?
Well, I think it's ultimately going to be fair because it's related to the specific damages at issue in the case. So they were able to calculate while they were figuring out their settlement here and before trial how much was gained from these illicit practices. And through that calculation, they're able to figure out what users were impacted by these deceptive practices. And they'll be able to refund it directly to the users, meaning some people who are even watching this right now will likely get something back in terms of settlement. What that might be, it's probably going to depend on how long you were an Amazon Prime member and if you were before these tricky buttons started to get put into the Amazon ecosystem.
Right. And moving forward, will Amazon customers now notice any difference in their Prime accounts? Are you anticipating any major changes on that front?
Well, these changes really occurred as a result of an act that was put forward to restore confidence in consumer practices and online consumer practices. And as a result of that, the Amazon Corporation has agreed to make significant changes to the way that it practices online and is devoted, it seems, to restoring some of the user or usability of its site to make sure that people aren't tricked into additional purchases. So I would expect that we see those practices go away and a bit more truth restored into the Amazon Prime membership. Now, that being said, will there be an impact on Amazon revenue in the near term? And we really don't think that there will be, because there are so many Amazon Prime members already that are involved. Even when you clear up these practices, there's probably not going to be too much of a shakeup for Amazon. So I think users will still be seeing the same service continue.
Right. And you have to think, almost everything is a subscription these days. Are there going to be broader implications? You would imagine other companies are looking at this going, I don't want to get pinched like this.
Fantastic question. Yes, I think that this is going to be a bellwether. First, you're going to see a lot of plaintiffs' lawyers out there starting to file similar actions against other companies related to their online practices. We'll probably see a slew of lawsuits related to that. In addition, we'll probably see compliance measures by those entities to try to clean up the way that they're acting online. Hopefully, throughout this process, it's going to be a little bit sticky for a few companies here and there, but we should see some better practices online overall. And that's exactly what the FTC is here to help us with and defend against.
All right. Well, some good news. We'll be checking our accounts then. Ronald Chapman, thank you.
Thank you.